What is going on YouTube? Hayden here, and in today's episode, we are going to be looking at another meme coin cryptocurrency. This one is called Bitcoin Hyper. We talked about them several days ago, going back about 11 days. You can see we made the video right here. This Bitcoin Layer 2 just raised $15 million, which is insane. In Bitcoin, is Bitcoin Hyper the next big thing? Pretty much talking about that this is a new upcoming pre-sale that is making a lot of wave, a lot of movement in the markets right now. Obviously, with any cryptocurrency, especially pre-sales, to do your own research because these are high risk and also high reward. You can lose a lot of money. You can also make a decent amount, but lots to go over in today's episode. I also want to give a huge shout out to them for sponsoring today's episode. They messaged me. They want me to make a video talking and just showing off, giving an honest review and showing you guys, just bringing awareness to what it is that is going on here. So that is what we're going to be covering in today's episode. So without a doubt, definitely smash that like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and let's see exactly what this is about. So check it out. Here we are on the Bitcoin Hyper website. And before we really go in depth on the website, first, I found an article that I want to cover. But the crazy part is when we made that episode almost 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, the price that they were at was 15 mil. And now in just 11 days, they've managed to get it to 17.7, which is quite a bit of pre-sale investment, if you ask me. That is certainly a one to keep on the radar. Not to say you need to invest in this, but I am just saying, or gamble on this, because that's essentially what this is. But we are just looking at this and checking it out just out of curiosity. I mean, something that has raised this much before it's even launched here is just something that's I think is worth poking around at. So we're going to check this out in a little bit, see what exactly is going on here. But I think we'll get a lot of explanation in this Coin Central post here, which talks about Bitcoin Hyper. It was published 5 hours ago. Bitcoin Hyper backed as best crypto presale with over 17 million raised from investors. Now, we have to take these articles with a grain of salt because lots of times they just purchase these articles from them. Here you go. This is a press release provided by a third party who is responsible for the content. Please conduct your own research before taking any action based on the content. So lots of times they will send these companies pre-written publishings already, and they just pay for the content. So this has been already looked over, if that makes sense, groomed to however they want to swing it, but it does a good job of summarizing what it is that Bitcoin Hyper is. So we have here, obviously, crypto pre-sales are one of the hottest sectors of the market, so on and so forth. Here, the Hyper pre-sale passes 17 million, which is insane, and momentum is the key word here. Drawing in over 150K in a single day is crazy. It certainly is crazy. The price is obviously continuing to rise. I guess really the biggest takeaway here, and then it goes, the pre-sale ends, it will be listed on a DEX, likely Uniswap, and then its plans to push to centralized exchanges soon. So that's interesting as well. And then we'll look at this in a second here. But what I've noticed, regardless, is this is just an overall, in my mind, it's a good consensus that the markets are doing well. Typically, we don't even see crypto pre-sales unless volume and hype is coming in and flooding into the markets here, into cryptocurrency. So what this tells me is we're not in a crypto winter. We're not in a bear market, and we're actually going to see bull market, or we're currently in one, which is exciting news if you ask me, because I'd rather see the hype and meme coins and NFTs and all that stuff get created, because there's usually the only reason people even waste their time on that is because there's money to be made. There's volume and liquidity coming into these markets here. So we're starting to see that with all-time highs and cryptocurrency just slowly but surely moving up higher here. So the fact that we're seeing pre-sales and meme coins and stuff like that even being created is certainly a good indicator for market sustainability. So Bitcoin Hyper team is building a layer 2 network to finally make Bitcoin scalable and programmable. Think of it as giving Bitcoin the capabilities that Solana and Ethereum already have, but without losing the OG blockchain security and brand power. This layer 2 network combines Solana virtual machine speeds, ZK rollups, and proof of stake validator system. That setup means fast, cheap smart contracts, bundled transactions to cut congestion, and Bitcoin that can be bridged over as wrapped tokens and used in dApps here. Is it the best pre-sale right now? Bitcoin Hyper tokenomics are laid out with growth, 30% development, 25% treasury, 20 marketing, 15 reward, and 10 reserved for listings. The balance provides that developers with fundings for all the important areas. It's a playbook we've seen before. Other pre-sales like Solana raised over 55 million this year. SOLX. Let's see how that's doing after it's hit markets here. SOLX, Solana, because that would certainly give us an indicator on how it's going today. Okay, so you can see it's interesting because when it first released, it dumped, fell, which tells you you probably shouldn't buy it. But if you get the pre-sale early and then it launches at like 0.0018 and you bought it, you got the pre-sale much earlier, everyone's going to want to sell. You could make some money. But even then, there are these big swings back up as usual before it settles down, where you could make money even after pre-sale. So it's interesting, but obviously the incentive is to get it before pre-sale and then sell it immediately. That's what people do. The intention is to dump their hands the second this hits the market here. Aiming to fix congestion issues with Solana after the native SOLX token launch, so it didn't look too bad. We have Pepe Unchained raising $70 million and rallying over 550% post-launch. Let's see that, because that is incredible too. So yeah, typically when it lists, it might list higher. How's this doing? Yeah, wow. Okay, so this actually went up after launch. And then, as usual, I don't want to say it's a rug pull, but just the volume and the price steadies out. And then people can start trading around with it here. So I suspect something very similar to happen with Bitcoin Hyper as well. Obviously, liquidity is going to get drained and people take it out and then put it into another meme coin here. But it's really the pre-sale and then the dump once it hits the market. That's kind of where money is made here. Very easy to buy in. You just log in, connect a MetaMask wallet or whatever wallet that is, and then you just click buy. It's really that simple. Pick your crypto that you want to do, BNB. You can buy with BNB, whatever your max token limit is, whatever's in your wallet, and then you click buy Hyper, and that's it. And then you'll get those coins, I think, in the wallet beforehand. Or you'll see it. It will tell you how many you actually have, but you'll usually get them, you receive them afterwards. I'm not entirely sure how that part works, but that's usually how it is here. But yeah, that's pretty much everything you need to know about this. Layer 2, bridge, L2 operation, settlement and security. Like, they're promising a lot of stuff, and we'll see if that stuff actually comes true once it's listed on the exchange. But right now, that's typically, it's not so much a pump and dump, although that is kind of essentially what might happen here. But we do see liquidity leave almost immediately out of a lot of these cryptos. And it's not until we start seeing, especially real world use cases that come around afterwards, real utility that could eventually lead the price for a long-term hold. But immediately, that's not what you're in it for. You're in it for quick cash, quick gains, and quick momentum. These are the tokenomics. Hyper News, that was probably pre-purchased. So let's take that with a grain of salt. But otherwise, not too bad. I'm just more shocked that there's 17 million. I wish there was a way to really dissect that. I think if we invested, we can see where money might move to, but phenomenal. It's insane how much money these cryptos even now are making here. But yeah, view transaction. Here we go. Ooh. So now we can follow the money since it's transparent here. So somebody just bought this, and here's the transaction details. It's coming from this, and it's going to this. They bought about $8 worth of Ethereum here, and it's being sent to this wallet here, which apparently doesn't hold anything, but there's a contract creator address, which doesn't have a lot of money either, $888. It's all getting sent to it's different, but this wallet seems to come up consistently here with no money in it either. Where is this all going? These are all getting sent from and to the same wallet address here. It's interesting. So not too much money. Internal transactions from and to. Interesting as well. Lots getting sent to this address. Wow, now we're starting to follow the trail here. This wallet address has 70 ETH, over $300,000. Oh my gosh, they have a token holding of 3 mil. That's wild. Oh my gosh. $3 million in token holdings. Oh my gosh. What are they holding? Mainly USDC. So that's funny. They're holding it in stable coins. $2.7 million. Oh my gosh. 2.7 mil. And then are they sending it from to? Nope. It's mainly just that. That is freaking unreal. So they're moving a lot of money around. There's clearly a big holding. That is something else. But guys, that's going to be it. Huge shout out again for Bitcoin Hyper for sponsoring today's episode. Let me know your thoughts on Bitcoin Hyper down in the description below. Have you heard about them? Are you going to invest? Are you going to take a gamble? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.